This whole U trail is awesome. U trail.
Good. Good. Okay. What you're saying is I complain a lot. I'm just saying good job done. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Any other questions for Carl?
On the trails, Mr. Gullich mentioned that the term branch was a grant. Was that a 100% grant?
Yes.
What?
That was through the Walton County Foundation. That was 100% paid for.
And that's one that was part of the Greenway, right?
Yes.
Yes.
What?
The Northwest Arkansas Greenway.
The one that's going to take us from here all the way up to Bella Vista.
So, will the connection from Solid Beach to the community park, will that go due south on Ridgeback Road, or will it go further west?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure. There's a great, if you look on our Active National website, you can go to the interactive map, and there's one of our trails and sidewalks, and you can see there's a place you can click, and it will populate with the ones that we're planning to build. That was just going over there. And so you can see all that are on the plan, and it's really exciting to look at.
You can have one of these guys. You got one of them. Okay. All right. Thank you so much.
So at last meeting, I talked to you a little bit about the goals that I had set for 2014, and I wanted to just report back on how I'm progressing on those. And number one was getting our energy improvement district up and running to help residents save money and help reduce their energy costs. We in Arkansas passed some legislation called PACE, which is Property Assessed Clean Energy, which enabled Fayetteville to form our first energy improvement district in the state. And what we're going to do, the intent of this is to help us create jobs and stimulate our economy, to protect our citizens from the rising cost of electricity and non-renewable fuels, and to provide some good options for financing these improvements that are not otherwise available. So we formed an Energy Improvement District Board, and the mayor has appointed me as his designee on this board, and currently we're in the process of drafting an RFQ for a firm to help us manage this process. And what we're going to be doing is offering low-interest loans for energy improvements, weatherization, renewable energy, and water efficiency improvements. And these would be tied to your property tax assessment, and that gives us the ability to make really long loans at really low interest, conceivably allowing someone that their payback would be less than the savings on their utility bill. So you would not only get this great improvement to your property, but you would save money every month, even after paying for it. This is an entirely voluntary program, and we're going to start by focusing on our large industries and commercial buildings. We're having some trouble with Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac and getting them to accept these on residential properties, but we're hoping to work through that. And we hope to be issuing our first loans before the end of the year. So this is a pretty exciting thing. And because it's tied to your property tax assessment, if you sell the property, the debt goes with the improvement. So it makes good economic sense to go ahead and invest in your property, even if you may not be there.
How are they funding that?
It'll be through bonds. So it'll entirely be bonds. Funded and
it's going to be applicable to residential.
Hopefully. We're waiting on Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac to approve that.
Year, 2 years, 5 years?
We don't know. There are 28 other states that have approved these programs, and we're hoping that collectively we can pressure them into doing that. But in the meantime,
when do they expect it to happen for commercial?
it will be available as soon as we can get the program up and running, so hopefully by the end of the year.
Just there, I could go on my house, so I could go through this program.
Yes, you could get a loan to put the solar on your house, and the payments would actually be less than the amount you would save it on your utility bill. Yes, you can save money. That's the intent, is to help us save money and be more resilient. Okay, the second goal was safeguarding the vitality of downtown by making sure that our new parking deck has the liner buildings that were promised, and that will require some additional funding to deliver. And I'm happy to announce that Alderman Matthew Petty and Partners for Better Housing put together a great proposal to to wrap the school side of that parking deck with workforce housing and retail spaces. And the council voted unanimously to support that proposal. And then we also have a contingency plan should that fall through to create a larger municipally owned liner building. So we want to make sure that that streetscape stays vital. That would be as part of the building, because initially we were going to do unfinished spaces, and so it would just be unfinished spaces. We are going to have to spend a little bit more money, but that's our downtown entertainment district, and we don't want dead streets. Our community's been pretty vocal in that they want a vital streetscape there, and so we're going to provide one.
And I agree with you. I think that is, some sort of activity around that park deck is wise and certainly beneficial. With talk about workforce housing, what does that mean?
That's housing that is affordable to workers earning minimum wage. So that's making sure that the people who contribute to the success of our entertainment district get something to live and walk in the
So how much of what you envision lining the parking deck would be low income housing? Because when I think of vitality around the parking deck, I think more retail focused.
Right, it'll be retail on the first floor, and then the top two floors will be the workforce housing. And this is just on the south shore side. On the Spring Street side, we're still going to have those city offices.
And is that, how do we, assuming that requires engaging some developer who wants to participate?
Partners for Better Housing is the umbrella organization that we're building that.
So they reach out to developers
Yes.
and try to
Yeah, they'll be reading that.
Why it's so important to me, the entertainment district is only entertaining if you get it out of the building. There's really not much to be entertaining along the street, or hang out, so it's like just a conveyor belt getting into a building. So it's nice that we start to have places where it's nice to hang out out in the street or the side street, not just keeping it entertaining with the inside building.
Right, and with the addition of storefront windows and opportunities for retail, because right now, if we wanted to open up a small business downtown, there's almost no real estate left in order to put one. So this will create more spaces for jobs and economic activity, as well as housing for people who work there. So we're very excited about that. The third goal is putting together a downtown revitalization plan that promotes local businesses, improves affordable housing, and improves walkability and transit. And on March 31st, I submitted an application to create a Main Street Fayetteville program to the Arkansas Downtown Network, and I'm going to talk about that a little later in the presentation. Goal 4 was rewriting our solid waste chapters to reduce or divert 80% of our waste. And I worked with the Environmental Action Committee. We've passed a resolution in support of this goal at the council, and the Environmental Action Committee has helped our Office of Sustainability draft a request for proposals for a firm to help us achieve this goal. And to get started, we've already installed recycling cans on our Fayetteville Square. We're expanding our recycling program to include apartments, and look at these gorgeous buckets that will slide under the sink of your apartment building and enable you to either take it to the large sorting bins outside or to our Marion Ordnance Recycling Center. Yeah. So I'm very pleased with this. And actually, these were paid for with a grant, a $30,000 grant from the Arkansas Department of Environmental Law. So again, that's all grant funded. In our efforts to collect recyclables in our entertainment district have been very successful so far. We have 36 bars and restaurants participating in the program, and we have so far recycled 5 tons of glass per week on average. Oh my. So we're not having to pay to dispose of it. So the fifth goal is revising our development codes to require low-impact development best management practices to protect our watershed. And if a lot of these subdivisions had been built with these low-impact development practices in the beginning, we wouldn't be having so many stormwater issues today. Low-impact development is a strategy so where you slow, spread, and infiltrate stormwater. It helps us protect our watershed. It's less expensive to build and maintain, and it helps beautify our community. So the Environmental Action Committee is going to be working on improving the compliance with that code. And I'm also proud to say that the new Rupel Road extension we adopted a low-impact development street section. So instead of in the middle of the road where you mound up and plant trees and then have to irrigate them, instead it will be a depressed swale to collect stormwater and not require irrigation on all those trees and help mitigate some of any new stormwater issues that might occur in that new development. So,
actually, on Anita, Mr. Spencer, who's here, we actually developed that street. And actually, in talking to the neighbors that have been there forever, it really wasn't a flooding issue until the city came in and built up Lewis Woods Lane. So it wasn't a poor planning on the part of the developer, it was a poor paving on the part of the city.
well, and part of that is dealing with the city's street section. And so that instead of setting out and getting in, we're creating mechanisms for that water to be absorbed. So it's not, this isn't something we're just asking private developers, we're also asking a higher standard for our own development.
Sure.
And then my sixth goal was finding funding and support for our Fayetteville board groups to keep doing what they've been doing. And I will admit I have not found a solution for that yet, and so that's we'll keep working on that one. Goal number 7 was getting our urban agriculture ordinance passed and expanding our community garden program. And on March 18th, the Fayetteville City Council adopted the new urban agriculture plan, and hopefully this will help us give citizens better access to fresh local food and address some of our food security issues, because we have 1 in 3 children in Fayetteville are food insecure, and that's absolutely unacceptable.
That was the ordinance, not the food.
Stakeholders that were involved in drafting that ordinance. Just as a side note, the National Center for Appropriate Technology is going to be offering a goat keeping workshop in early summer. So you can contact the Fayetteville Sustainability and Resilience Office if you would like to know more. Goal number 8 was increasing opportunities for small business development and incremental sprawl repair by improving our mobile vending ordinance. And I am proud to say that on April, just this last month, we passed a new mobile vending ordinance. It's going to simplify the whole process, create a lot of opportunities for small business incubation zones like we've seen at Yacht Club on North College. We've had 4 bricks and mortar businesses launch out of that zone. We're also having a lottery that's open right now for food trucks that would like to vend in our public streets. So you have until April 30th to apply for that lottery. But hopefully this will be a great way to bring new, exciting restaurants and other businesses into our community. Goal number 9 was supporting our Transportation Committee's effort to design and implement an effective public transportation system. As chair of the Environmental Action Committee, we passed an ordinance, or I'm sorry, a resolution in support of a comprehensive transportation master plan. The street committee supported that, and so did the city council. And now we have selected a firm, HNTB, will begin contract negotiations to develop that comprehensive transportation master plan with an emphasis on inclusive mobility. That's bikes, that's pedestrians, that's public transit, and well-maintained roads. Goal number 10 was continuing to advocate for sidewalk and infrastructure improvements in Ward 1. And I'm proud to say that we are going to be getting new sidewalks in our South School business quarter, as Terry told us earlier. And I hope that you will join me in advocating for including street trees and lights in that sidewalk as well, so that we're built to the same standard as the sidewalks up the hill in downtown.
How do we help that?
Well, write all of the council members asking for support and be vocal and just get everyone in the community to do that, because any funding for that would either have to come from another source, we're going to have to look for grants, we're going to have to look for community partnerships, or we're going to have to pull it out of reserves. So those are our options, and so we're going to be investigating this through.
On that note, I went to the state pedestrian bicycle, what they call it, northbound street, up at Ballfield about a month ago, and the state transportation guy for this district told me that the state allows trees to be planted in the median or on the side median, for example, township, and also bus depots. And of course, I know that's not right. So how do we deal with a state who want to lie to us and said that, oh, it's the city who wants us to plant trees in those communities? You know, places where there's like a sidewalk, it's 100 degrees out, and the state won't let you plant a tree. It's on MLK, it's on College, it's all over the city where these barren wastelands of Bermuda grass where there are no trees, how do we get the state to allow us to put some trees in?
We need to put some pressure on our state representatives, and I had actually drafted what I call the Main Street Mobility Act, asking for the state to have to meet standards when they do work on our local streets. So if we put trees on our streets, that they would be required to put trees on their streets. Also allowing us to put transit infrastructure, like the reason that you don't see benches on South School Avenue at the bus stop is because we're not allowed to do that by the Highway and Transportation Department. So we have to put pressure on the legislature. We have David Whitaker, who represents most of Ward One, and he's fantastic. Greg Letting is also good. Uvalde Lindsay in the Senate is also a good guy. But we've really got to do more than just for Northwest Arkansas. So maybe this is something that we can work through the Citizens First Congress, through the Applied Sustainability Centers, working with communities all over the state. So it's going to take a statewide effort to get the Highway and Transportation Department to remember that their name includes the word transportation.
Right. Well, they also told me that they may in the future want to make college and township 70 million. So those are the kinds of things we constantly get in the state. It's frustrating that the city wants to do something that's a little bit more user-friendly and shape.
The other option would be to take it over to local control. And there are municipalities that have done that, but then we would be required to maintain that roadway in perpetuity. So it is an option, but it's one that we would have to weigh very carefully, because it would have some many impacts. But when you look at the vitality of our downtown, it may be something that is worth doing because
You could also find out where they live.
I don't advocate that. But I am working with the mayor, and we're strongly advocating for pulling some intersection improvements down to South School, specifically 15th Street and South School. We need to fix that intersection so that the semi-trucks don't get lodged in there, as well as provide a safe passage for pedestrians and cyclists and automobile drivers. So I'm putting the pressure on for 15th and South School, and then going up to MLK and South School. Because especially with the new trails coming through there, we really need an emphasis on safe pedestrian and cycling infrastructure.
Is that a candidate for having sidewalks closer to the street, much like college downtown, except for a little bit wider sidewalk?
Possibly. And engineering is going to be looking at that and finding out what is the most cost-effective way to do that. But right now, the weak areas to start cutting it. I walk up and down that stretch all the time. So goal number 12 was looking for opportunities to preserve Kessler Mountain and put it in the public trust. And I am proud to announce that on March 26th, Mayor Jordan handed a $3 million check to Chambers Bank to purchase the 328 acres of Mount Kessler. So we are going to sell a conservation easement to the Walt Family Foundation to preserve 328 of those acres for $1.5 million. And we've also been promised another $300,000 by the Fayetteville Natural Heritage Association to also help offset that cost.
So how much cost is there to the city?
$1.2 million for 328 acres, and we will now have the largest park in the region.
And that comes from where?
Our reserve park.
The plans for the regional park, that's, I think, one of the most exciting things about it.
Right, the regional park is going to be breaking ground this fall, and these two will be connected. So you will be able to go out there and play ball, or go hiking, or bird watching, or play soccer, and you'll be able to ride your bike from there all the way to the bridges. So, yes, so that's the three places that we'll be looking at. So the last goal was developing and supporting policies to promote living wage jobs. And, I believe to build a robust economy, our workforce needs buying power. And in order to succeed, our small businesses need customers with money to spend. So recently, the Chamber of Commerce approached the council with a request for a sales tax abatement to support an expanding industry in our commerce district. And I made it very clear that in order to gain my support, that I wanted those new jobs at the factory to have a median salary of at least $15 an hour. And that their original proposal for a median wage of $11.15 was unacceptable. And I'm proud to say that our chamber negotiated in good faith, and they were able to get a promise that those new jobs will have a median wage of $15 an hour plus full benefits and I was able to support the sales tax abatement. So I want to thank our chamber for helping us get more living wage
What is
jobs.
the sales tax abatement?
That's where they don't have to pay sales tax on new equipment that they purchase to expand their facility. So they bought a factory, the old Hannah Candle factory, and they want to purchase a lot of new equipment. It's Karcher Industries to help them grow the business and enable them to hire, I believe it was 20 new positions. And so we exempted them from sales tax on the equipment purchased for, I believe it was up to 3 years.
Yeah, and I think the actual abatement was just a few $1,000.
It'll cost us about $10,000 in the long run, but we created about 20 new living wage jobs with good benefits in our commerce district. And they're putting in a training center which will enable them to grow even further. So I'm very pleased that we're able to do that. In other news, Mayor Jordan received a check for $1.1 million from Come and Go for the purchase of 2 acres in the old Mexican original site on Huntsville Road. I was also proud to announce that due to Alderman Petty and I's resolution to recycle at least 75% of the demolition waste, we were able to sell the old building for scrap for $91,000. They paid us $91,000 to take that old building down.
That's right.
And I'm sure you've noticed the new sidewalk stretching down Huntsville Road, which will connect that site to downtown.
Where does the $1.1 million go?
It goes into our capital improvement fund. I believe it goes into the capital improvement fund. So in other good news, we were recognized as a city of compassion. The International Campaign for Compassionate Cities is a large multinational organization. There are 26 cities of compassion around the world, and Fayetteville, Arkansas is one of them. It is a global campaign inspired to raise awareness of the benefits of compassionate action, and its purpose is to support city leadership and citizens in planning and realizing initiatives that foster compassionate action through local projects. This is an initiative of our Fayetteville for Inclusion Action Group. Also, our Chamber of Commerce website is getting updated to make it easier to connect workers to jobs and entrepreneurs and startups to resources and improve our image and entice more businesses to relocate to Fayetteville. And we're getting some great new businesses here on the south side. We're about to welcome the Farmer's Table in the old Brick House Kitchen building. They're going to be doing farmers table, breakfast, lunch, and weekend dinners by reservation. Also, Woodstone Pizza is going into the Mill District. That's going to be artisanal pizzas with locally sourced ingredients and regional craft brews. Also, Burger Shack has gone out of business and will be replaced by Ginger Sushi. And Metzaluna is being replaced by El Jabali Southwest Grill. In other exciting news, we are getting a new Sunday farmers market here in Southside at Jefferson Center, Sundays from 9 to 1, starting the second weekend in May. We have 20 to 25 committed vendors, so I advise you to go and support them. And then this week, the 37th annual Joe Martin Stage Race is going to kick off on Thursday. That brings 700 athletes from around the country to Fayetteville, and you're going to be seeing some traffic disruptions in our ward as these athletes compete. So,
Hi, I'm Dee Dee Peters. I'm the Community Outreach Coordinator. I've been with the city probably a year and a half now. I have a really interesting job. It changes all the time, and I basically get to help people. I put some things over on the table there. One of them is my card, and I encourage anyone to grab it because if you have a question, you don't know who to talk to, just call me, and I will find the person or find the answer. Marion, I work with Marion. And I work in a lot of marketing campaigns, and so I brought the Recycle Something swag over there. These pencils are great for kids or kids at heart. They're mood pencils. They change with your heat. So, so grab some of those. Sarah talked a little bit about how we're trying to expand our recycling and make sure that we can recycle as much as possible. Our recycling crews are amazing. We have sought after materials because when we collect, we do it cleanly and efficiently, and so we have good prices on what we get. Also have the no soliciting decal. This goes on windows and so forth. I know that since I put it up, I've had not one person come so that's nice. And then, on Friday, we announced the Fayetteville Alert System. This is a new system, and it's for the city to push out information, and most importantly about weather. It's kind of like Raz Alert, or one of those, the new stations, systems where they send you tornado warnings, but this is city-related. It's supported by FEMA. FEMA actually uses this same technology for their own programs. People that don't have computers, they can grab one of these forms, and you can call me, I can walk you through it, you can mail it back. So a lot of people were discovering, you just have the cell phone or the landline, and so I can help with that. And you can sign up for a lot of other things, but I would say the weather is the most important one to get. They use, the technology is mapping technology, so the National Weather Service can see where a storm is coming, and if it's only coming to the west part of town, people signed up on the west part of town will get the message, and the people on the east part will not get the message. If you sign up for some of the utility alerts, and in the future when we're working on the water main breaks, basically our water department can draw a line on that street and notify all those people on that street that have signed up that says, hey, the water line's broken, it'll be back on by 6 o'clock. If we're working with transportation and doing an overlay or something, we can also send a message saying that the street's going to be worked on and closed and asphalt, and it's pretty interesting. And you have a choice to get it either text message, email, recorded phone call, a bunch of different ways. And also for people with kids, it's fantastic. If you have kids and you need to find out if that soccer game is going to close because of the weather. And then another thing that we experienced a lot this winter was not knowing if our trash or recycling was going to be picked up. And so you can sign up for that, and it will tell you, just on Monday, you pick your day, and it'll tell you, trash is delayed until Tuesday, or it'll send it to you again, delayed another day. So, take my card. I'm like your personal assistant with the city. So,
She gets the job done.
yes.
On the fire and the police, for example, I was going to say we're going to come rescue or what would be an example of when a fire or police would
Well, I know that I will not be sending those out. That fire, I think Chief Sayringer would.
We would send out customized messages in the event of a flood, so we know where the low-lying areas are in a flood. So in which streets are closed, we could put the type of damage and the path of damage if there's been a tornado move through the town. Shelter locations where people can go for help. We can put in paths of evacuation, safe corridors where people can get out of a certain area.
associated a lot with the weather.
Well, disasters and storms, and we'll also put out burn bans when can't burn any leaves and sticks in your yard. That's the type that the fire department would put out. And the police department, I think Chief Taylor talked about missing persons alert, and
They're also going to do. They can see where if there's